Ende bayi asim ko bosin keta mana na yimma asim kan ko echikwelu ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Eastern News 24 bụ ebe anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasata maka ihe na-eme na obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasata maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ọ bụ na ya bụ ụbọchị izi gị ị na-agafete n'iru akwụkwọ afọ chanel anyị, kaba alụ ka ị sọbskraibụ antọnụ onyo notification. Maka gịnị? Anyị na-etinyekwanụ update daily gbasata maka ihe na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, na gbasata maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ya wetara unu n'iru akwụkwọ bụ ife anyị na-akpọkwa evening tea ka anyị ji maka ya, ka anyị ji mara ya. Anyị na-akpọ ya evening tea. Ife a bụ Biafran Prime Minister in exile were ife were ịgwa ụmụ Igbo. Unu ga-esi ya bụ ife n'ụdị nke gị, ị ga-esi ya bụ ife ịkaba alụ kwuo efe ichelu gbasata maka ihe ndị a niile Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị na-akpọ evening tea. You can say drop your own comment. All right, over to you, sir.
The end bad government protest, who started calling for the Igbos to end and all of that, and you all heard them. You are bringing them to fore also. Thank God. But the problem is that you are of the opposing view that since it is not the federal government of Nigeria that conducted the referendum, to an extent you now said yes, even though you might not be, you are not aware of the referendum, which that you say that other people are talking about this referendum, how they have voted, which comes to tell you that there are many other people like you who don't know about referendum, probably will never know about the referendum even till you buy and whatever. When you acknowledge that a lot of other people are talking about it, thank God. That is why it is a test of popularity. It is a test of opinion of how many people are involved. And now you talk about the figure, 50 million, and you are not sure if it's up to 250. That means there are people who you know now. Many people are already talking about it, having voted. There are physical one, people queued in line, which there are video evidences where people in the land, in the Biafran land, queued and voted, and those who are in diaspora and those who don't want to take the risk of standing anything election now have to do that online, home and abroad. Now, and the referendum has been carried out. Your point of disagreement is that it is conducted by a non-state actor, one. Two, that it is not conducted by the Nigerian state, and it is not observed by EU, it's not observed by AU, it's not observed by UN, and all of that. Is that not it? Is that correct? Good. And I want to ask you, what was the purpose for the UN coming with the doctrine of a referendum being conducted by the government, by a functional government? That is, you know, there are different aspects of an ordinary plebiscite and the referendum for secession, then whichever way that it is supposed to be conducted by the government that is existing. Now, I want to now ask you, because I know you are a very learned person from the way you sounded, you know, because of trying to be politically correct and the obvious act of cowardice that so many people like you are always taking certain position, that has been the reason the Igbo race have continued to suffer till today in the Nigerian state. Because of your cowardice, the likes of you, it did not start from you. Now, your question of whether Nigeria, the Biafran people have the right to conduct the referendum on their own, is what now led me to bring you to the reason why the UN had to bring the policy or the ideology of referendum being, or like in our case now, to be conducted by Nigerian states and to be monitored by the EU observers. So that now you now acknowledge a salient fact here by yourself. You see, when you people try to be this politically correct, you end up indicting yourself by proving that you are politically wrong. You now try to finger something that is very known to everybody, that if it is to be conducted by Nigerian state, it is INEC that should conduct the referendum. And even beyond the one that you just made here now, the unreliability of INEC, the 2023 concluded selection, you yourself faltered it at all levels, you yourself in particular, just like many other Nigerians faltered it. Then the turnout of the election by itself, just like others, a country where you are having a population that is supposed to be within 300 million plus, and at the end of the day, a region will not have up to even 20 million voters. And you want to look at what standard that is operable in Europe. Good. Now we are here together. We know about Guinea, who gave, thank God you also give the Sudanese government giving room for referendum. We also want to go to that Europe. Even UK gave room for referendum for people to, if you want to, march out of the union. The EU themselves that you want to call to observe already acknowledge that it is a practicable thing. It is a civilized practice for a government to give room for this. The same you pointed out the case of Sudan. I am also bringing to your knowledge the issue of the Greenland and the forest in Denmark. The Danish people now in 2009 now made it very clear and easy for any of their parts, being the Greenland, the Falls, who want to, march out of the union, that it should be a smooth thing. Then here you come, in a government that did not only demonstrate that they don't want to be civilized, but they went as far as making it open. Tinubu in the June 12th, this about 2 months ago, when they had the June 12th fake democracy day, said that the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. But beyond Tinubu, you have always heard that from Nigeria government. Buhari made it very point blank that if you talk about the disintegration of Nigeria, that you are from that moment seen by the Nigerian security authorities or outfits as a terrorist, and you must be treated as such. Then tell me, how do you now want to now talk about it spiritually? When you talk about Nigerian government conducting and the EU and all the nonsense you're talking, now observing it, then are you going to do that in the spirit world? They are very clear that they tell you that the state you are talking about is like 1,000 years behind the modern state system. They are so barbaric, they are so uncivilized, and yet they want to tell you about the democracy. They want to tell you about. Tinubu told you on the 12th the June day that they want to hand over a good democratic system to the generations unborn. Is Tinubu supposed to be in government today? You are in a country that everything is so shrouded with confusion, everything is in opaque, nothing is in any measure transparent. This is a country you are expecting to conduct referendum, a country that doesn't even know the system of government they practice. They don't even know the economic system they adopt. They don't know if it is a socialist state, if it is a communist state, they don't know if it's a capitalist state. It's funny, a country, even it is so made manifest that the leaders of the country also, everything about them is so shrouded in the darkness. You had a president whom everybody now know that he had to rule you with NEPA bill as certificate. If you say it's a witty allegation, what happened when he was pushed to wall to bring this his certificate that he said he presented? He now said that it was burnt by the military, and the military said They don't know about what Buhari was talking about. Here again, you have another man who said he want to continue.
Ụmụnne tupu anyị aga n'elu igosi unu ya bụ ife ndị ọzọ anyị ji maka ya wee bịa maka ife anyị na-eji gosi unu nkịta ọ nnukwu ife ka ọ bụ ihe Biafran cabinet meeting on international level. Kabaro ka subscribe turn on your notification ebe ese bell aka metụ ya aka ka o wee on so that kila pi na-emiss any of our update dịka na-eweta n'iru akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Maka anyị continue kwen go ife anyị na-ege.
With the legacy of the same Buhari, and this is the same situation. You don't know his place of birth, you don't know his origin, you don't know his locality in Nigeria, you don't know who were his friends, you don't know the school where he said he attended, you don't know who was his classmates, you don't know if he has any certificate at all. And they will sponsor the courts in America had to do, Chicago had to try to unveil these things, and everything now was, were pumped to be covered with money. Everything, nothing is clear at all. Are you a democratic country? I am asking you. Is your state a democratic state? You now have admitted that what you are practicing is not even working. So what is your problem? What is your problem? Which country now do you want now to approve the referendum, since you don't want the one that is approved by their people themselves? And I want to ask you, when you people talk, when you want to demonstrate knowledge and wisdom, you end up showing the world that you are. So it is not like one animal that was calling in one program. I'm also going to bring his case here. You are telling the world that this state doesn't even obey, that the INEC you are even expecting to conduct, you yourself are questioning their credibility. Then how do you want an organization with such bad personality, an unreliable body like that, stand to be the one to, you want to entrust such responsibility? Okay, we were even saying they should even do it. We have always called for them to do it. We had now to do it ourselves because we see they don't want to. They are so afraid. You now have to make a very serious blunder here. But thank God that the interviewer, thank God that the presenter here had to put you on chain. Who told you that the Igbo people don't want to exit? That of course it is the majority opinion of the Igbo people which should make the Nigerian government so afraid to accept it. Because you are confused if you are practicing democracy. There are certain important issues that when they are raised, you also now accepted that serious issues of concern like this, that the people sometimes don't trust on the credibility of their representatives, that is the reason we do have referendum and plebiscite. You said it here. So why do you confuse your own self? It is one thing for people to be confused by others, people to be deceived by others, but it is a very serious crime against humanity when a man by himself opts to deceive himself. You are talking about referendum. You are talking about the state actor because you want to refer to the legal maxim which states that you cannot be a judge in your own case, Nemo Judas in Kashishwa. But your own brother is held by Nigerian state because he has a case with the Nigerian state, and the Nigerian own court is adjudicating on his matter, and the same Nigerian court is afraid of even giving him a free or a leeway to even defend himself. They implanted chips and cameras in his. They don't want the barrister to, even with that condition, the barristers are even proceeding. But they keep adjourning the case from today to indefinite until today. So it is good. If it has to do with, it is the same case now you refer to. You were accusing the lady who, when she was a journalist, she was hiding what she was made of. and now she is appointed. Now she is showing her real character of her hatred and spite against the Igbo race. Now you are the one now pointing out these things. How come now that you don't know that this is the same thing that is applying? You cannot be a judge in your own case. So when it has to do with the other people, they can be a judge in their own case. When it has to do with your own people, they don't deserve to be a judge in their own case because you want to be politically correct. Oga, come on, make sure no say, I have respect for my elders, but when they go as far as misbehaving to the detriment of a mass population of people, this is over 17 million people that you joke, you play gamble with their fate, with their destiny. Oh, if they do the referendum, you don't even think if Igbo people really want that, but it should be done. Onyala. So you want the same inconsistent, the same terrible INEC to be the one now to conduct referendum for you. I want to ask you, what happened to the census count that you have held all through Nigeria, and why is there no more census in Nigeria? Is your policy for census not 10-year interval? So when last did you conduct census? Then why not, if not? Because there was fear. There was serious fear. Goodluck Jonathan had to, reveal things that was kept in the dark for a long time. Obasanjo, as a coward and as a coward Yoruba he was, and acted cowardly as expected. When he had the opportunity to reverse the criminal the census, the manipulated census count that contributed to the robbing of the southern Nigerians, it was his time to correct it. Today, as a coward he was, and he is still, he refused to do that. Releasing or opening up of the Kaduna refinery, Obasanjo knew of it, and he advised Jonathan that there was something like, he took Jonathan, ordinary bloody civilian, to do that. And when it was time to stand for Jonathan, Jonathan wasn't, obeying all his criminal intentions. He now had to tell the North, you see, Jonathan, he was the one that opened the refinery, the hoarded oil. The hoarded oil, it was Jonathan, he used it against Jonathan. And the North and every other people had to vote against Jonathan. Conspiracy. You say, sometimes you begin to wonder if there are really some conspiracy theory. You people are now sensing if there are conspiracy theory. You don't know if there is conspiracy theory. When you even will speak grammar, I don't know. You speak English that should even be simple. It looks as if it's so elusive and it's so difficult to demystify. Whether there is conspiracy, what do you mean by conspiracy theory? That a particular race is hated so much, you have heard where the Oba of, they said they will push the Igbos to Lagoon. You heard the Shetima, the current vice president, say they will push the Igbos to Lagoon. They will finish them up. You pointed at different people who have made certain and certain comments. And you are still asking, sometimes you are even wondering if there are conspiracy theory against the Igbos. Then what is conspiracy? What they are saying, is that not conspiracy already? That they are going to push you. It is a plan. That is why we need to go away from this Nigerian state. We need to have a state where education should be worth it. It should be worthwhile. Because the kind of education you guys have, I put them in doubt. You contradict yourself a lot. Oh, now the referendum has been conducted. Who is going to enforce it? You're asking that question as a man who I suppose has a political science background. You're asking who is going to enforce it. Oh, and why should it be conducted by self? All these things you are studying in political science, is that not what practice that other people brought into limelight and it is today studied? When the Norways and the Denmarks had their own in the 14th, was it not studied? Is it not studied today? Or was it 17th? We are studying about it today. People bring in, when America had to break with their own approach, who went to observe it for them? But let me not go that backward. Let me tell you, you brought about 2014. Let me tell you about 2014. 2014 was the case of beyond the one you mentioned. Let me not mention the one you mentioned. Let me think of another place. Do you know the place they call Ukraine? You know, good. And you know the place they call Crimea? Good. And the Crimea is like the Igbos in Nigeria to what it is to the Ukrainians. And Crimeans say they want to opt out of Ukraine Union. Did Ukraine accept their move? No. Did Eritrea you mentioned accept? Did Ethiopia accept that of Eritrea? No. Did it result to gun running? Yes. Have you heard that sometimes freedom is taken, not given? Yes. It looks as if it's so elusive and so difficult to demystify. Whether there is conspiracy, what do you mean by conspiracy theory? That a particular race is hated so much, you have heard where the Oba of, they say they will push Igbos to Lagoon. You heard the Shetima, the current vice president, say they will push Igbos to Lagoon. They will finish them up. You pointed at different people who have made certain and certain comments. And you are still asking, sometimes you are even wondering if there are conspiracy theory against Igbos. Then what is conspiracy? What they are saying, is that not conspiracy already? That they are going to push you. It is a plan. That is why we need to go away from this Nigerian state. We need to have a state where education should be worth it. It should be worthwhile. Because the kind of education you guys have, I put them in doubt. You contradict yourself a lot. Oh, now the referendum has been conducted. Who is going to enforce it? You're asking that question as a man who I suppose has a political science background. You're asking who is going to enforce it. Oh, and why should it be conducted by self? All these things you are studying in political science, is that not what practice that other people brought into limelight and it is today studied? When the Norways and the Denmarks had their own in the 14th, was it not studied? Is it not studied today? Or was it 17th? We are studying about it today. People bring in, when America had to break with their own approach, who went to observe it for them? But let me not go that backward. Let me tell you, you brought about 2014. Let me tell you about 2014. 2014 was the case of beyond the one you mentioned. Let me not mention the one you mentioned. Let me think of another place. Do you know the place they call Ukraine? You know, good. And you know the place they call Crimea? Good. And the Crimea is like the Igbos in Nigeria to what it is to the Ukrainians. And Crimeans say they want to opt out of Ukraine Union. Did Ukraine accept their move? No. Did Eritrea you mentioned accept? Did Ethiopia accept that of Eritrea? No. Did it result to gun running? Yes. Have you heard that sometimes freedom is taken, not given? Yes.
Ndị be anyị daalụli nnenu nke ukwuu ka unu si wee gbaa mbọ wee na-esonyere anyị n'ife anyị na-eme n'ime akwụkwọ dị iche iche. Ọ bụ ife m chọrọ ikwu bifo ma alapụ unu ka unu tinye alụ nke unu ife uche n'ilu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ya bụ ife dịka o si ada and dịka o si akpọtụ n'iru akwụkwọ. Biko wa ajụ m chọrọ ịjụ, biko ndị Igbo ọma na-ege ntị saanụ ya bụ ajụjụ. Ọ ga-edugokwu n'oge anyị akpọ n'ụwa anyị meeting nke ịbụọ jụọ ụwa anyị nwanne anyị nwoke anọ n'ụlọ nke mkpọrọ ebe a ka ọ ya anọzi. Ọ ga-edugo oge onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo ya apụta tinye ebe ya bụ ife ọnụ maka ya bụ ife akarigo. Nnamdi Kanu nwere ife o mere n'iru akwụkwọ. Tọsifọ ihe ọjọọ mere n'iru akwụkwọ bụ na ọ sị na ọ chọọzi ịbụ onye Naịjirịa. Tọsọ ya bụ ife ọjọọ o mere. And ndị ọha eze niile ma ndị niile were na-ekwuchara ndị Igbo ọnụ fa, nobody is doing something about it. Nobody is doing anything about it. Ife a na-asụ bụ tọsọ ogologo oyibo. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu bụ the leader of indigenous people of Biafra IPOB si na mmegide na-emegide ụmụnne ya dịrọzi ya alụ mma si nye ya Biafra ka ọ na. Okay, to tell you that what that thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu n'eziokwu, since eji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu check the system of Nigeria till now, the system na-ebezi akwa, everything is collapsing. Always able to fall na hotter. What's the more you hold him, the more the economy destroyed. He said these things. Obuli fomu na ipota ine kubo kama keje yondi fulani na major on the fulani. Chefo no ha buzo we major ndi Igbo. Owoli ndi Igbo mele ndi fulani. There's nothing an Igbo man. What if Igbo man mele fulani? Ndo aneze sina neji yo ndi fulani about the killings in 1914. Na jubikon owoli ndi Igbo mele fulani ndi fulani. First from the jail we conquered si Hausa niile we bata ka konka kwuola n'Igbo ofu onye pụtalụ bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu si na nke ama mme na ndị ka ife a adịlọ achụbịa ka egbuo onye Igbo ewere nwanne ya lee. Ya bụ ife bụ ọ bụrụ ihe nji maka ya wee bịa ma ọ bụrụ na ego ọnụ m n'ife anyị na-ekwu n'iru akwụkwọ. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu stand with justice, equity and fairness. Owende mebeli iwu iche ọbụla ajụ na-ajụ ya so ndị Igbo akwa ejidere ya lapụ ya akwa the same thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-azụ ka ọ na-azụ. Ndị Igbo kpọọ n'owu na meeting jụọ owu na-ajụ ọgwụ nakọ ha m n'ọnụ. Daalụ dị na-ekwusi na-esore anyị. Ọ bụla nke a bụ ụbọchị izu gị na-abịa n'iru akwụkwọ esore na Morning Tea na Eastern News 24 kabaro ka subscribe and turn on your notification ka ịlapụ imisi any for update dịka anyị na drop ya n'iru akwụkwọ oge niile. Daalụnụ ụmụnne m ọgwụ nakọ ha m n'ọnụ.